Okay, good afternoon. This is Kris Mukherji with the Law Office of Kris Mukherji, and I have the pleasure of having Doug Hokstad from Marcco Flood Restoration. Doug Hokstad is a restoration expert. Now, you're probably wondering why, as a business law attorney, I'm having a restoration expert on my show, and I'll tell you why. Because our practice deals areas such as estate planning, business law, and personal injury. And we're always working with clients that need help in different areas. And inevitably, I've gotten calls in the past for clients that have had problems with water leaks, fire damage. And we connect them with individuals that can help them out with that. Next week, I'll be having a colleague of mine on the show who deals specifically this from a perspective of going after the insurance companies. But I wanted to talk to Doug Hokstad because I wanted to ask him, what should somebody do if they're in a position where they have a water leak? There's some water damage in the house. They didn't know about it. How to react to that. So Doug Hokstad, welcome, my friend.
Hey, Chris, thanks for having me, man. So I appreciate the opportunity to kind of talk about water damage. If I could I tell a quick story?
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right. So to kind of preface what we're going to talk about, there was a gentleman who got a rude awakening. He got a knock on his front door. He owned a condo. His neighbor had rudely awakened him from a nap. As soon as he woke up, he noticed there was water flowing underneath his feet all the way out the front door. What had happened? He had spent the entire Sunday afternoon installing a brand new bamboo hardwood floor in his condo. He was so tired and just needed a hot bath, so he went in and started a tub. He went out and grabbed a glass of wine, sat down, and quickly fell asleep while he was filling his tub. So the tub overflowed, right? The neighbor sees the water pouring out of the front door and comes knocking on the door. We had to go address that. So I share that story, Chris, because that's an episode that insurance companies would call sudden and accidental, right? It was an accidental. One moment there was no water on the floor. The next moment there was water on the floor. So I want to kind of address that in terms of what a person should do when they encounter a plumbing flood in their home.
So
fair enough?
I guess we'll start with that then. So you have that situation or something similar. I mean, obviously these days people are at home more often. They see more things in their house they never saw before. Water leaks here, damage there. If somebody comes across a scenario such as that, which you just described, what's the first thing they do?
All right, so this is going to be obvious. Thank you, Captain Obvious. First of all, shut off the source of water, right? You'd be surprised how many times we get a call and the water is still flowing. In this case, it was easy because he could just turn the faucet off the tub. But if it's a burst pipe, the first thing they should do is turn off the main. And a good thing to do is every homeowner ought to know and teach everybody in the household, the kids included, where the shutoff main is, because that's going to save a lot of heartache, right? So make sure that everybody in the home knows where that is. If it's a condo, you can still do that, but you can also sometimes mitigate the damage by just turning off the shutoff valve. Under every sink vanity, every toilet has a shutoff valve. Every homeowner needs to know where those are so they can shut those off. That's going to be very helpful. So that's number one. Second thing you want to do is act quickly to mitigate the damages. So this seems obvious, but in a crisis, these are things that are not thought of. Start removing all the wet items. So you shut off the water, no more water is flowing, but now you have a lot of items that have soaked up that water. Area rugs, clothing, boxes, anything that soaked up that water, just simply remove it from the area. And if you're standing in water, it might be a good idea to go ahead and turn the circuit breaker off for that room. I mean,
let me ask you real quick, Doug. So you said remove the area rugs. Are you talking about removing the actual carpeting that may be in the floor as well too?
So look, if it's wall-to-wall carpeting, which a good thing to do, and if you're comfortable, I would just suggest pulling back the carpet from the walls, from the carpet tack strips. You could just easily pull that carpet back because that carpet is only retaining water, and what's happening is the drywall is soaking up all that water. So yeah, just pull the carpet back away from the wall. If it's a hardwood floor, remove those area rugs. Just remove clothing, get everything off the floor. So just act quickly to do that. Just do what you can to eliminate the water that's on the floor. You can use a wet and dry vac. Wouldn't necessarily recommend that, but some people will grab a wet and dry vac. You can sweep the water out, take towels and start soaking up the water, but remove all that water. Third point, is call a restoration company like Marcco Flood. Get a professional out there to do a thorough dry out. And here's why. All that water that was on the floor has been soaked up by the baseboards, the flooring, the drywall, the insulation in the wall. All of that water has been absorbed and now is trapped in the walls. So a proper dry out needs to be done. And here's what people need to know. Homeowners can get whomever they want to come in as a contractor to do the work. You don't have to use anybody from a preferred vendor list. I want to be really clear on that.
I want you to repeat that again, because a lot of homeowners believe that when you have home damage, you have damage to your vehicle or damage to your home, that you have to go with who the insurance company recommends.
Not at all. It is your home. You get to choose the contractor that comes into your home. It's your castle. You are in complete control. So call a contractor that you trust, someone whom you know is going to do the job correctly. All right. But make sure they're certified to do the work. So call a restoration pro, get a contractor in, a restoration company like Marcco Flood to do the extraction. We have all the extraction equipment to extract the water. We can begin to bring in the dry out equipment. Demolition oftentimes needs to occur, so we can open up the walls, remove the wet drywall, set up a containment, put the dehumidifiers in, dry out the space, and immediately mitigate damages by doing a proper dry out. And here's why this is so important, Kris. A lot of homeowners want to kind of do this on their own, do a DIY dry out, but we have all the infrared technology to find out exactly where that water is behind the walls.
Mm-hmm.
As a homeowner, understand you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. Most of the water you can't see, that moisture is trapped. So we need to make sure you leave no moisture behind, because that's just going to create more damage and give rise to a mold colony, which the insurance company is not going to be too happy with, right?
So after they've done all this, after they've called you or called
Yep.
another restoration company, what's next?
Right. So then now they've called you, they've given us a call. Now call your insurance agent. All right. Call him or her. Let them know what's going on. You want your agent assisting with the process because if a claim is going to be filed, you want to make sure that everything is being done correctly.
Doug, let's ask you real quick. So
Yeah.
you obviously have call your insurance agent as number 4. Now, most people, the moment they have water damage in their house, the first thing they're going to do, if it's the weekend and they can't get a hold of their agent, is call the insurance company to file a claim. Is that the right thing to do?
So here's why I wouldn't recommend that, and probably your agent wouldn't recommend that either. Because once that call goes to the claims department, the toothpaste is out of the tube in terms of, doesn't matter what the outcome of that claim is. So in other words, once it goes to the call center, the claim center, the file is opened up, and let's just assume the repair for that water damage wasn't like what I explained, and maybe the repair is only $2,000. Maybe the deductible on that home policy is $2,500. It would make no sense to go through with the claim, correct?
Absolutely.
Right. But because they called the claims department, that file was open, the toothpaste is out of the tube, even though the homeowner did nothing, never collected a check from the insurance company, did the repair on their own, it's still a mark against them as a filed claim. Most insurance companies only allow you 2 filed claims before they kick you off their rolls. So it's most insurance agents would prefer that you call them before filing a claim.
Very good. That's great information there, Doug. So we've gone through the process. We said, first shut off the main valve, mitigate the damages, get rid of the wet carpeting, the wet rugs, etc. Call a restoration company was number 3. Number 4, you said finally call your insurance agent. What's number 5?
And then just take pictures, document what happened, because if it's going to be a claim that's going to be filed with the help of your insurance agent, you want to make sure that you're documenting everything. So in other words, take pictures of the damaged property. If there was some clothing that you had to remove, and you're not throwing anything away, all right? You don't want to throw anything away, but take pictures. Take pictures of the wet walls. Just document what's happening. Take some notes. When the contractor arrives, the first thing we start doing also is documenting everything, because what we're doing is, and you can appreciate this, we're building a case. We have to have a story to tell the adjuster, because the adjuster's not getting there, Kris, for another 3, 5, sometimes 7 days later.
That's right.
So documentation is the key.
That was a lot of valuable information there, and I'm sure that my viewers will appreciate that as well. How did they get a hold of you, Doug?
Real simple. All right. So we're 24/7. We cover the entire county. We're emergency response. Just write down the phone number, 619-596-5447. Or you can just simply go to to our website, marccoflood.com. And Marco spelled with 2 C's, MARCCO flood.com.
Just like your background there, right?
You got it. That's why I have it there.
Doug, thank you very much, my friend. That was very helpful. I really appreciate you being on here, taking some time.
Thanks for having me.
And let's connect again soon.
Let's do it.